Hello dear students. So today it is the video class for PUC second year commerce. The subject business study. So as you all know, the subject code is 27. So dear students, in the last video class we were discussed about the principles of scientific management. We were discussing under this topic. So we have seen so many principles of scientific management. Those are science, not rule of thumb. So then second one is harmony, not discord. Then the third, that is, dear students, cooperation, not individualism. Then the fourth one is development of workers to their greatest efficiency and proprietary. Okay. So like this, we were discussed about the principles of scientific management in the last video. So in the today's class, dear students, I am very much interested to discuss regarding techniques of scientific management. So that is the reason I am standing before the camera along with my camera technician, Mr. Sanmesh. So let us discuss what are the techniques of scientific management and so how they deal in the organization while discussing about this scientific management. So techniques of scientific management. Techniques of scientific management. Techniques of scientific management. So to conduct the scientific management in an organization, dear students, so what are the techniques to be adopted in the organizations? So let us discuss some very important techniques in the scientific management. Dear students, Taylor gave the following some very important techniques for implementing the principles of scientific management. So those are, the first one is functional foremanship. So functional foremanship, under the head functional foremanship, functional foremanship. This is the first technique that is which is given by the father of scientific management. Who is he? This one, F.W. Taylor. So under this heading, functional foremanship, supervision is to be the first point, that is, supervision is to be divided into several specialization. Supervision or supervisor, that is to be divided into several specialization functions, and each function to be entrusted to a special foreman. So the specializations to be conducted in the supervisory. So under that functions, and each functions to be entrusted to a special foreman. Then the second point, that is, each worker will have to take orders from 8 foremen. Very important. Each worker will have to take orders from 8 foremen in the related process of functions of production. So under this heading, dear students, I would like to give you one flow chart that is very important functional foremanship flow chart it is. So I am very much interested to draw over on the board. Factory manager. So he is basically divided into two. One is planning department, another one is production department. Look here. So factory manager, planning department, and the second one is, that is, production department. Production department. So at the initially, like this, they have classified the factory manager like this, planning department, and this one production department. So under the heading that is planning department, route clerk, then the second that is instruction card clerk, instruction card clerk. Then the third one is time and cost clerk, time and cost clerk, and finally that is disciplinarian. Disciplinarian. So like this, it is divided like this. So dear students, after that a route clerk, instruction card clerk, time and cost clerk, and the finally disciplinarian. So very important, look here. That is workman. From this 1, 2, 3 and 4 like this. Gang boss under the production department. The first one is gang boss. Gang boss. Then the second, speed boss, repair boss, speed boss, repair boss, and finally inspector. So this is the flowchart regarding the students' factory manager. So under the heading functional foremanship. So this is the first techniques of scientific management. Under this, dear students, the father of scientific management, that is the F.W. Taylor, he has provided supervision is to be divided into several specialized forms, and each functions to be entrusted to a spatial foreman. Then the next point, each worker will have to take orders from 8 foremen. Look here. So there are 8 foremen are over here in the related process of the functions of production. So next one, that is standardization and simplification of work. Standardization and simplification of work. So that is second technique of scientific management. Very important point that is to be considered while studying techniques of scientific management. Excuse me. Okay. Standardization, and this is the point number B. Standardization. Standardization and simplification of work, and simplification of work, of work. This is the second techniques of scientific management. Under this technique, dear students, the points to be considered, very important, those are so process of setting standards of every business activity. Please concentrate. Process of setting standards of every business activity to maximize output is called standardization. Then the next, simplification is eliminating unnecessary varieties, sizes and grades of product manufactured in the organizations. So I repeat once again this standardization and simplification of work. Under this heading, dear students, very important point, that is process of setting standards of every business activity. So as you all know, the business unit that contains the business activities, the process of setting standards of every business activity to maximize output is called standardization. So here we need to maximize the output, that is called a standardization. Simplification is eliminating unnecessary varieties, sizes and grades of product manufactured in the organization. Very important point. Then the third one, that is method study. Point number C. Method study. So under this third technique of scientific management, so very important, dear students. Please. So under this technique, very important, finding one best way of doing a job. Please concentrate. So method study, that is finding one best way of doing a job, and after that critical analysis is made for plant layout, product design, material handling and work processes using techniques like process chart, operation research, etc. So then the next point, that is time study. Point number D, time study. These are the techniques of scientific management. So still we are under process. This is the point number D, time study. So under this technique, dear students, it is a technique used to determine the standard time taken by the workman with reasonable skills and abilities to perform a particular task. So then after this point, one more, that is, here the job is divided into series of elements and the time required to complete each element, that is idealistically is recorded using a stopwatch. Then the next point, that is fatigue study. Point number E. What is that? So fatigue study. Fatigue study. Fatigue study. So under this technique, dear students, determines the amount and frequency of rest intervals required in completing a task. So every worker and the employee is given one task in an organization. He is to be completed within a time. Look here, determines the amount and frequency of rest intervals. So here the important point that is, so frequency of rest intervals required in completing a task. So whenever he is going to complete his task, given task, so how many times he requires the rest during that completion of work. So that is somewhat a fatigue study. Then the next one, F, point number F, what is that? So differential fees wage system, differential fees wage system, wage system. So under this technique, dear students, you always system, look here, different piece wage system. So as you all know, in an organization, dear students, employees are working for the sake of to fulfill their livelihood. So they need this one remuneration. For that purpose only they are working in an organizations. So very important, differential piece wage system. So that wages, it is an expenses in an organization, keep in mind. At the meanwhile, we need to fulfill their requirements too. So under this technique, that is differential piece wage system, so dear students, friends, evolve a system wherein the efficient and inefficient workers are paid at different rates. So very important task, if the worker working very hard and as well as he is maintaining the quality of production, so he is a very standard worker, he needs to get here in the organization we need to provide a higher rate of salary to him. So or else we need to give this one low rate. So first a standard task is established with the aid of time and motion study. Then two rates are established. Higher when standard output is produced and lower when the standard is not met. For example, I'll give you one example. Standard task is 10 units. So rates are rupees 50 per unit for producing 10 units or more, and rupees 40 per unit for producing less than 10 units. Very simple task it is. So under this point, some more points are, under this technique, some more points are going to be explained here. Worker A produces 11 units, he gets rupees 550. Why? Because so he has crossed the standard output, that is 10 units. So worker B produces 9 units, he gets rupees only 360. So at the rate of 40 per unit he gets. This difference of rupees 190 will motivate B to perform better. So if he a real worker, he takes as a positive in an organization. So then, so next time he will definitely reach or cross the standard, that is standard output. So like this, dear students, these are the different techniques of scientific management. Very important tasks or techniques while studying the scientific management. So today I have tried my level best to study this under the heading. Dear student friends, thank you for watching this video. See you on next class.